All right, thank you for staying with us for the continuation of this program. And when you talk about safety, it is often said it's everybody's business, actually. But then there are some agencies, departments, the ministries of the government that are saddled with that responsibility. And of course, especially at this time, safety is always important every time. But leading towards the end of the year, the rush, even on the roads, drivers want to try and make, some drivers, actually, I must say, want to try and make as much as they can. Some of them, maybe things that they will not ordinarily lose during the course of the year, they want to make as much as they think they can. Speed on the road, as many trips as they can. Even artisans, not just the drivers, everybody want to make that rush because people are traveling, people are buying, the Yuletide is upon us, uh, transactions here and there, purchases, food, holidays, season is there. What should we be doing at this time? And the Hamatan is upon us already. You can see the weather, the dry season is there. What are those things we need to put in place to avoid disaster? We have with us today Chief Superintendent of Fire, CSF Adeoye Ademola. He's the zonal head of investigation, inspection, and enforcement unit at the Federal Fire Service Osun Command, Zone L. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. God bless you.
We appreciate. When I saw you the other time, I said, hopefully we are more safer now.
Yes.
We have always been safe, but we are safer now that we have you here.
Yes,
But
sir.
we're talking about safety at the Yuletide.
Yes, sir.
You already know you're in this profession at this time. But let me pick you up before you go into all that. You saw what we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Disasters, stampede, all of these things that has happened. While we are waiting for, investigations here and there, you as a safety person, in things you've heard, things you've seen, and based on your experience, do you think maybe safety precautions in these venues were disregarded?
Yes. Thank you for having me. I greet our viewers.
Yeah.
You see, what happened, it was highly disheartening. But as you have rightly put the question, safety was highly disregarded. Ask me why. Why?
Why?
In planning of having the law says, the safety rule says that if you are to have minimum of 10 people gathering, you have to have a qualified safety officer as well as security officer. But in this part of the world, they've put security ahead of safety. And safety and security should go pari passu. They are interwoven. That in all the pictures and videos you've seen, you've never seen a safety officer around there. They did not notify fire department, either your state or federal fires. We have federal fire service or your command that's under this zone. We reside at federal secretariat in Ibadan. They did not contact us.
At least you can speak to that.
Yes, they did not contact. I can speak to that. So in any gathering of more than 10 people, if you are planning a celebration of a birthday or any celebration, or you want to dash out palliatives, you have to consider safety. Safety of lives and property, they are number one. Even according to the law of the land. The number one responsibility of federal government, where we represent, where we work, is the safety of lives and properties. And federal government cannot just play a sit down the look role. If you did not invite us, we are not angels. We will not know where things are happening. As we are here now, there may be another breakdown of law or stampede or fire occurrence anywhere in Osun or in Nigeria. If you do not call on us, you do not invite us, that okay, Western Sun TV, we have to have a spiritual palliative or so you are invited. We will be here earlier. You invited us today. We were here before the time.
Yeah.
So if they have invited a safety officer or safety officers or safety department who will have been there, deployed our men and officers there to help the security officers there to put proper things. What you are to do in that case, number one, planning. As they are planning, they invited the TV station, they made jingle, they failed. Publicity. They failed to put security and safety in place. If you are to expect, you have number of palliative that they determined, they planned for them to distribute. They will have had a figure they were expecting. Yeah. So, and you know the world standard of security and safety. One safety officer per 10. So if you are expecting 1,000 people. So you know the numbers of safety officers and security officers you should have. It's just a pity, and I believe the entire nations have learned our lessons. The organizations, the organizers have learned their lessons. The people have learned their lessons, and this will forge ahead of people that are planning any other palliative or whatever distribution for this period.
Right.
Please, if you are to organize anything, make sure you invite safety department and police officers. Let us plan for you. You have your money. You want to dash out palliative to people, to the less privileged. Right. Invite us so that when you are helping people, you will not kill people. There won't be stampede. There won't be regret. Those little ones now, they pay the supreme price, in which they didn't know anything about.
Right. You know, quick one. It's quite interesting because it's still part of safety. Yuletide, because this has happened at the Yuletide as well.
Yes.
You know, although unfortunately it has been happening in scores because there are distributions February, you know, according to, if I may see what the Guardian reported, the Daily Trust rather, reported this morning that we've had issues of like this before that ended up in stampede, only that it wasn't of this magnitude.
Yes.
Actually, maybe 3 persons, 7 persons, 5 persons dying, and which is quite unfortunate. But quick one, you said if your men are not invited in any event, either it's a government event or, okay, maybe if it's government, definitely you'll be in the know, but any kind of charity, fun fair, party event, you will not go. But that kind of a, you know, the one that happened in Ibadan was well publicized. Even people Osun were aware because of the publicity that was done. One would say the safety department, you have a work to do. Even if you are not invited, shouldn't you have called on these people to say, let us advise you?
Yes.
You have a duty to the government and to the people.
Yes, sir.
Although you are not invited.
Yes, you may be right. We could have advised them.
Yeah.
But we didn't know the magnitude, the numbers. We heard on radio, the prophecy that we heard on radio. You know, we are in Osun, and we have a command in Oyo. And I can say to you categorically that our command in Oyo, they were not invited. And the jingle on radio, we will not take that as official information or official invitation for us to be there. Even the police that were invited, they got there, they gave them a time of 7. According to the report that we got online, the people started rushing in around 5 a.m. Before the policemen that were invited officially got there, the people have already overcrowded the place.
So is that a police, because you said the police was to be there 7 or 8, people already thronging that place by 5. So is that a safety or police or safety issue or a people problem?
It is people's problem. Our people they are highly ignorant.
So what would the safety department or the police have done in that case? Possibly you could have been overwhelmed as well.
Yes.
Even if you were there.
Yes, if we were there, we could have, you know, we have pre-event planning. Okay. We have done event planning, we have post-event planning. Okay. During the pre-event planning, we could have advised them. This is how to go about it. Like, let me give you an instance.
Please.
If they've invited us during pre-planning, we could have told them, okay, you are expecting 1,000 people or 500 people. Okay, let's do it 200 or 100 or 50-50 batch by batch. And we'll station our officers with the police officers at a designated distance. If you have any public place, you have an entrance and an exit. According to what I read online, those facilities they used is not even safe. If they've invited us officially, we could have advised them, change this location, change your venue. Because that venue is not safe. A venue that does not have 2 entrances or 3 entrances is not safe for any human being to stay or to live or to dispute anything. The place they used, according to what I read online, was just 1 entrance. It has 1 entrance. So that is a precedent. That is preparation for stampede.
Disaster.
Preparation for disaster.
All right. It's bad. And this is us, you know, from this end, not victim blaming anybody, but for us to just learn. And he has said, you know, there are things that we have to do. And, you know, Uzoms, we have said it severally. Good intentions, that is what it was. But then it has turned out badly, possibly in the execution. But then we wait for the investigation of the people in charge, the government as well. Some persons are in stations, you know, police detention rather, helping with investigation. But now, moving on, we have started so well and quite interesting. To say, this is the Yuletide. It is upon us.
Yes.
Let me ask you, from data available to you, figure at your men, at the national level, at your zone, in Osun State Command here, what are those things that you think are the frequent hazards that happen at this time. You know, from December period, the children on holiday now, they'll be running around the place, people on the road, drivers, safety things that I think people should look forward to.
Thank you very much. Thank you for these vital and important questions. It's part of our core duty for us to sensitize and do awareness during this period. We've had one around November. We call it our annual Fire Safety Week.
Okay.
And it was a national event. We had our own Osun command there was held at Lameko. We did at Okechukwu about where we gather people, the motorists, we sensitize them on how to prevent fire emergency from happening. If it eventually happens, what will you do? And as you've put the question rightly, this Harmattan period, the drivers, the safety rules are there. During this Harmattan period, you know, you have low humidity, you have high temperature, and the vegetations are dry. That is a preparation for hazard. Hazard are already in the know now. We have 3 elements of fire. We have the heat, we have the oxygen, we have the fuel. Now, those 3 elements, they are present now because of the weather. We have the heat. Heat is just a rise in temperature, change temperature to a higher level. We have the fuel. What we call fuel in the fire engineering is anything that can burn, anything that can ignite fire, any combustible materials. And the other one, we have the oxygen. Oxygen is readily available. So it now depends on our carelessness and ignorance. Fire emergency or road accident during this Harmattan period happens because of negligence, carelessness, and ignorance of our people. Ask me why. Why? Drivers. When I was driving down here, we have one incineration center around the Gbedi. They've started the process last night. The whole place was crowded. Any driver that drives early in the morning these days, you should know you reduce your speed. Have your light functional. Have your wiper. Have your wiper working. Have your wiper working. Have your light functional as a driver, and use your seat belt. On no account will a driver set out to drive without a seat belt, and every passenger in the car, in the vehicle. As regard the road safety, the safety on the roads. Yeah. As regard fire safety, everybody at home should know this time, Yuletide period, as you ask your question, the children at home, there must be an adult to supervise them. And you must practice self-safety. What is this self-safety?
What does that mean?
Yes, in your home, you should carry out what we call evacuation drill. Carry out evacuation drill.
What's that? With
your children. Any household that is above 4 or 5, a man or woman, 2 or 3 children, should have a periodical fire drill exercise. What is fire drill exercise? Yes. Fire drill exercise is a simulation exercise that you do to prepare yourself in case of any fire emergency, or any theft, or any burglary. Like this your station now. Everybody here should have quarterly, we should invite us for quarterly fire evacuation drill. It should be done minimum of 4 times a year. What is the fire evacuation drill? You intimate your people, the occupant of a building, with the exit and entrance of that your premises, right, and how to evacuate that building safely in case there is fire, theft, flood, or any other emergencies. It starts as emergency. If not being contained or controlled, it leads to a disaster. That's why you see disaster. We say every fire starts small. There's no fire that starts big. Every fire starts small from our own carelessness. This Yuletide season and this Harmattan season, we know we have high temperature. We know the vegetations are dry. We all know that disasters are just waiting to happen, waiting for an ignition. So what you need to do, as you leave your home, make sure everybody switch off your electrical gadgets. Do not say, I have chicken, I have whatever in my freezer, let it get, I won't be at home. Yeah. Particularly our women. Switch off all electrical gadgets before you leave your home. Number 2, make sure you have functional fire extinguishers and know how to use them.
Even in our home?
Yes, in your homes. We have different types of fire extinguishers. For this studio that we have, we have the required type. We call it carbon dioxide type. We have like 4 types of fire extinguishers. We have the carbon dioxide type. We have the DCP, chemical type. We have the chemical foam compound type. We have the water type. And all these things are suitable for each category of fire. A layman will take a watertight fire extinguisher to extinguish an electrical fire. Before you see it, you get them electrocuted. That's why a rescuer become a victim. That's why you need to have our phone number to call on us in case there is fire in your workplace. We say in our local plans that you leave home to feed home. Everything that happens in your workplace happens because of you going back home to feed your home. You are not expected to come to your workplace or to drive out and not to go back home, because your family will be left behind. In any emergencies, the environment will suffer for it, your family will suffer for it, the government, either federal government or state government, will suffer for it. That's why it is better and cheaper to prevent fire or any emergency from occurring. That's why we are here.
Better and cheaper.
It is better, it is cheaper for you to prevent emergency, either fire or flood or theft from happening. You could imagine someone that have collected loan or saved up to build a house, bought a land of 5 million, build a house for about 50 million,
right,
and fire will come within a twinkle of an eye, and fire will consume everything because the owner failed to prioritize safety. When you go to meet them, say, okay, you have a building under construction. Under my department, I have a unit called PRA, Planning, Review, and Approval. We ask you to bring your drawings. We'll vet this your drawings. We incorporate safety, fire protection, safety gadgets for you. And as you are building, my officers will go there to check, to supervise if you comply with our approvals, our recommendations and our approvals. But some people in power, some people out of negligence, some people out of ignorance, they build their house anyhow. Some will say they don't need you.
So when a building or construction plan is being put up, they are supposed to factor in the safety department.
Yes, that's what is available internationally. That's what the National Fire Safety says. That is what the National Fire Protection Department says. Every household that inhabited people, we call something habitation certificate. After completion, you've done whatever, you have to hand over the key to the owner of the building, either a contractor, a consultant, renovate or build a new house. You have to give you an habitation certificate.
All right.
What does that mean? Habitation certificate means that household, you now have smoke detector, fire alarm. You have a functional fire safety certificate. You have means of escape in case there's any emergency. And we have assessed it. We know this building is habitable. Because there's many of our buildings are not habitable. Many people are living in a building, working in a workplace that is dangerous. But they don't know.
What makes it habitable or not habitable?
It is habitable when you are safe. A building that is not safe is not habitable.
So what's a safe building?
Yes, thank you for that question. A safe building is a building that have complied. Will inspect it, will investigate, will follow it up. If during construction you follow our recommendations and our observations.
Yeah.
And during the commissioning or handing over, we will be there to issue habitation certificate. We call it fire safety certificate. We have different type of fire safety, category A, category B, category C. Depends on the risk involved. But many people neglect this because they believe safety is nothing to them.
Okay.
They've taken security ahead of safety. Can you imagine someone build a house? There is no safe burglary proof in that house. If you bring your drawing to us, we will vet it. We will help you incorporate what we call burglary, safety in burglary. If you have 4 burglary proof in your household, there must be a 1 burglary in your house, burglary proof, that can lead you out in case any theft or flood or fire. We have 3 types. You have the one that are openable like your gate. You have the one that you can slide. And you have the one that you can open and put key. And any member of your family should know this one escape route, escape burglary.
So those ones, the burglar proof that we have on our windows, what type is that?
Those ones are said prison yards.
That's what it is.
That's why I told you some household that we live.
Because people just put it there, yard. It's still for safety.
It's not for safety. It's for security.
Okay.
Okay.
It's for security, not safety.
Okay.
Safety and security They are interwoven, but there are little differences.
All right.
It's for your security and not for safety. And these days, some armed robbers, they even develop ways of bringing down those burglary. So it lacks any.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you from what you've said so far, you have actually said that most Nigerians are ignorant of these things, like this burglary you just talked about now, which you have in various apartments around us. So what is the safety department doing actually? Because you talked about sensitization, which you said happened in the last just November. Isn't it something that should be regular? Like, let's start from the secondary schools. It should be something that, okay, you should come in once in a while and sensitize these children, because sometimes you find out that the youths are not even aware of what security or safety is. So shouldn't we do this on a regular basis? Aside the fact that we've invited you here and you're talking to the viewers, shouldn't it be something that the safety department should create a timeline or a calendar to be able to sensitize people and Nigerians outside to be able to, know what to do?
Thank you, madam. I will surprise you to inform you that the youth, our children are in school, they know more about safety than their parents.
Okay.
It's part of, like you rightly suggested, it's part of our calendar. We have schools. They come to our station regularly for what we call fire assessment. We'll take them around our plants, our offices. We'll show them. I can show you pictures here. Many schools, Eboluwa, many of Olive Branch, many of these schools have come. They've been to our station. We'll welcome them. We'll take them around our premises. We'll show them those appliances, and we'll teach them what we call glossary of appliances. Some of them have even had a vision to be a fireman because of what we've done so far. Many of them in schools they say career day. It will interest you to know that there are some children now that now have career in firefighting, fire safety. They dress, even our children, they now sew our uniform. They dress as fireman. They now have fire career day in all our schools. As a matter of fact, the last fire week that was done by us at Adeoye High School, we had a fire ambassador. In secondary school, we organized quiz for schools, public and private schools in Osun State. And a female girl, I've forgotten her name by now, a female girl came up. We have an award. I can show you that picture. That's to tell you
that we are trying your
best. We are trying. And not only the fire safety week that was done. Last week, the zonal PRO was on OSBC. Last week, Wednesday, the training school lecture PRO was on Diamond FM. So
showing
as I am
that
here,
you are doing your best.
We are doing our best to sensitize our people.
And maybe you could do more as well.
We will do more. There's a room for more.
All right. Other questions. We have many of those questions. I think you still have one more.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Talking about the apartments, and I want to bring you down to the apartments again. You said they should present their plan and then you check it out. Shouldn't the safety department create a group or a team that should go about checking? Because this thing you said about that burglary being a safety, being security, not a safety burglary, most persons are not aware of that. And most buildings, most apartments tend to use these things. And when you talk about safety, it's not actually a way where people can escape in case of anything. So shouldn't the safety department create bodies that will go around and inspect these houses so that to increase the safety measures of the country?
Yeah, right.
Thank you, madam. We have a unit under my department. We call it enforcement unit.
Okay.
As we are rightly introduced by the moderator, he said, I heard the II. The E means enforcement unit. Okay. We have an enforcement unit in Federal Fire Service that goes out to enforce what we call National Fire Safety Code and all other relevant guidelines.
Right.
But what we have is that our people, they are adamant of doing wrong things. They believe they can boycott government. And if you boycott government, you will not boycott your life. Our job is a humanitarian service. It's service to God and service to humanity. If a house is on fire, when you turn out our men, you don't collect anything. If you come to your building or to your project, come to our station, bring your drawings. We are doing you good, and we are doing the Federal Republic of Nigeria good. Because like I said the other time, any emergency or any disaster that happens affect federal government, state government, and local government.
All right.
Because any company or any business or any household that float up, government will not generate anything from that. And the environment too will be affected.
All right. CSF Adeoye, Ademola, I told you I have many questions, but let me just narrow it down to two. Number one is this, as a roundup. You said something about apartments being safe, and I want, there's a very quick one. There are many apartments, either small or big, that only has entrance, it doesn't have exit. That kind of apartment, is it habitable?
Those apartments are not habitable, please. Please and please.
Because you know what I'm asking?
The people of Osun and
sorry,
Nigeria.
sir. This is the time where people are changing houses. You see, towards the end of the year, people are moving from one place to the other, and they are looking for houses. What are the things that they should look out for? That's what I'm talking about. Some houses having entrance, doesn't have exit.
Please, if you are changing your house, or you are looking for a new household, or you are building your house, or your house is under construction, make sure minimum of 3 entrances, 3 exits. Because if there's an emergency in that one exit, how will you live out? How will you go out? How will you go out?
Yeah.
You will not go out. You will be trapped. So what we are saying is that if you are looking for a loose household, one of the things that you have to look for is safety.
All right.
And security.
It must have at least 2 or 3 entrances.
2 or 3 entrances, number one.
All right.
Number two,
Yes.
number two, you must be safe in that household, in that environment.
All right, quick one.
Not a gigantic fence.
Yeah.
We have gigantic fence with electric wiring, and people are trapped in that house. We have to even use our breaking tools
To get into.
to get in. Before we got in, the damage have been done.
Yeah. All right.
Those people have.
Quick one. If peradventure it happens, this part of the world we say God forbid, but if it happens, fire happens, what's the first thing that should be done?
God bless you.
Yes.
Immediately you see a fire, you raise an alarm. As we are now, if anybody, fire does not respect color or status or grade, it may be the security man that will start fire first. That security man should raise alarm. Don't say, I'm waiting for the GM here or for the CEO. If it is your cook or your gardener or your security man that start fire, anybody that start fire first should raise an alarm.
By shouting?
Fire.
Okay.
That is why we keep hammering that every household should have smoke detector or fire alarm. Okay. What does it do? What those smoke detector do is it alerts you at the beginning of that fire, when that fire at an incipient stage, for you to know what to do. So immediately that smoke alarm or fire alarm
picks it up,
start ringing. No matter how deep sleep you are, you wake up.
Is there a number that can be called?
Yes, we have numbers.
Functional numbers. Can you please really?
Yes, we have functional numbers, and we have our Facebook ID. Yeah. Our functional numbers is 090-3581-8584.
Can you recall it?
090
slowly, yeah.
090-3581-8584. And we are on Facebook.
Okay.
Federal Fire Service Osun Command. We FFS Osun Command.
If anybody calls this number, there is always somebody that will pick it up.
Sure.
Because people complain, sometimes they call you and sometimes you say there is nobody there, it keeps ringing, or there is no fear, no water.
That is not Federal Fire Service.
Okay. You always have water, you always have fear.
The Federal Fire Service all over Nigeria, every command all over Nigeria, we have minimum of 2 fire engines.
All right.
And each fire engine contains 6,000 liters of water.
All right.
We should 500 liters of chemical foam compound.
We appreciate you.
And inside that fire engine, we have different type of fire extinguishers there.
All right.
And our men are on standby. Yeah. If you call on us in the next 30 seconds, we are off.
Somebody pick
Why you say delay?
We must
please have our time.
Yeah.
Let's educate our people.
Yeah.
Why delays that? When they call, they make error. Please, there's fire here. Where? Okebale. Where in Okebale? They will not tell you. And our men will turn out to Okebale.
They should be specific.
Let them be specific. Let them calm down.
All right.
Let them calm down where they are calling. We understand that their properties are on fire.
All right.
Their people are inside fire.
Yeah.
But let them calm down. There is fire at number so. So when we are coming, we will know where to go. So if you don't give us an accurate address, a correct address, if we just go to Okebale, we'll be wandering around until we see smoke on the roof.
Yeah, so they should be specific.
Let them be specific.
I've been told now exclusively to ask you if there are companies, houses, organizations that need fire drills, because you're talking about safety, especially at this time. Can they reach out to you?
Let them reach out to
Which
us.
number? Is it that same number?
You can call that. You can call that number or write our office, Federal Fire Service, Osun Command, GR, Okefia GRA, opposite area C police station. Okay. Before you get to tennis club, you see our office adjacent Babato's farm.
All right.
Opposite police officers' mess.
Is it free?
It's free.
The service is free.
Service, if we render service to humanity.
Thank you very
Federal
much.
government are paying our salary
All
up
right.
to date.
All right. Thank you very
It's free.
much.
We fight fire free. We train people free.
Yeah.
We are here today freely.
We thank you, especially for your passion. We can see the work you are doing. Safety at the Yuletide. And not just at this time, every other day. And he says everybody's business. When it happens, raise fire alarm. Okay? And we have been speaking with Chief Superintendent of Fire, Adeoye, Ademola, who is the zone head and the Federal Fire Service, Osun Command Zone L. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Today, we appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
All
God
right.
bless you.
And of course, you that you have been with us, we wish you, all the best at this Yuletide. Take the precautions where you are going out, off your appliances, and so that will be safe. Uzoms, we should go.
Yeah, we should go. Thank you for staying with us. I remain Uzoms Okechukwu.
All right, we make a return tomorrow morning for another edition of Morning Spring. We have a recap on our YouTube channel at Western Spring TV. Western Spring TV, go there. Other exciting programs are there, and this particular edition will be there as well. Femi Ojo is my name. Keep safe. God bless Nigeria.
God bless you.